Our next guest is certainly no stranger to the military community. Fawn Weaver is the dynamic CEO and founder of the award-winning Uncle Nearest whiskey brand, named in honor of Nearest Green, the world's first Black American master distiller. For the past 2 years, Fawn has embarked on an incredible journey across America to recognize the dedicated individuals who have helped propel Uncle Nearest to its status today as the leading Black-owned spirits brand worldwide. It was during this journey when she became profoundly moved by a group of sailors during Fleet Week in New York City. Sailors bourbon. So, you in the Army can say who, whatever it is, and you in the Marines can say ooh-rah, and you can have your per diem. Everybody know what Navy do, liberty call, liberty call. Determined to show her appreciation and support for our military community, she would embark on a new tour with the specific mission to visit military bases across the nation. She aptly named this effort, Thank You for Your Service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your support to show her gratitude to one of the brand's most supportive communities. Kicking things off at the MacDill Air Force Base, she would visit 35 military installations over the course of her 16-week tour, immersing herself in the day-to-day of service members, engaging with top leadership, and sharing these experiences with many of her online followers. For her unwavering show of support to our nation's military, I am pleased to present Fawn Weaver with the VFW Distinguished Patriotic Award.
Distinguished Patriotic Award in citation awarded to Fawn Weaver, in special recognition and sincere appreciation of her tireless and unwavering commitment to honoring, supporting, and recognizing America's active duty service members and veteran communities through her thank you tour at military installations across the United States. The dedication and selflessness she puts forth in recognizing America's servicemen and women, while encouraging all fellow Americans to do the same, embodies her patriotic spirit and inspires others. By making meaningful connections with troops and leadership on military bases across our country, Weaver helps to ensure they know their service is never forgotten and always appreciated, thus duly earning her the utmost appreciation and respect of the veterans of foreign wars of the United States. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands in the official seal of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, this 30th day of July, 2024, approved by the National Council of Administration, signed by Dwayne Sarmiento, Commander-in-Chief, and Dan West, Adjutant General.
I don't accept awards, and I have to tell you, SEAC John Troxell, where is SEAC John Troxell? Senior enlisted advisor to the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, retired John Troxell, has accompanied me on every base. And throughout the last 5 years, I have turned down more awards and honors than I can count. But I could not turn down SEAC John Troxell, and I could not turn down the opportunity to be here to encourage you. My father was an enormously patriotic man. My mother, anytime the Blue Angels would go up, when I say tears, like not pretty tears, ugly tears. I grew up in a household that loved, honored, respected our nation, and I do appreciate that every politician ends with God bless America. But I think we need to understand who we are and know that God has already blessed America. My father grew up in Houston, Texas, the son of a domestic worker. He picked cotton in the fields of Houston. He went on to Southern University, and at Southern University, a civil rights organization came in, and it's at the time that sit-ins were beginning. And they offered any person who participated in a sit-in, they said, if you get kicked out of the university for participating, we will give you a one-way ticket anywhere in the country. My father participated. He was kicked out of Southern University, and he chose Los Angeles, California. He wanted to be a writer and a producer. And a man by the name of Berry Gordy in Detroit, Michigan, heard his music and reached into him and said, you know, I've got this startup called Motown, and I've heard your music, and I would love for you to become a part of this. My father went from picking cotton in the fields of Houston, Texas, to being one of the original hit makers for Motown. That only happens in America. My mother gained her patriotism from her father, who was a GI. Immediately following World War II, he was in Germany, where he met my German grandmother. Now, we still, to this day, have never gotten the true story of how a woman who only spoke German and an African-American man who did not, how they fell in love, had a baby, all the rest of that. The only thing we knew for sure, the only thing they would admit was that they were hustlers together, that all of his rations for sugar, cigarettes, whatever it was that he wasn't going to use, she would sell it on his behalf. So somehow, two Bonnie and Clyde fell in love, came to the US, and my mother was born in that household. They passed on to me this love of America, not because America is perfect. America is so young, there are bottles of cognac older than us. We forget that America is an experiment. It is a democracy. That is an experiment. What we are able to appreciate, the freedom that I have been able to enjoy, is because I live in a democracy. No place else is my story possible. I left home when I was 15. I love my parents. We have a great relationship now, but at 15, not so much. I left home at 15. I dropped out of high school. I lived in 3 homeless shelters by the time I was 18. I tried to commit suicide twice by the time I was 21. And now I am one of only 5 African-American women in the history of this country to build a company that is worth over $1 billion. That only happens in America. Let me tell you why I go to all of our bases, and at this point, John Troxell can tell me if I'm right, but we have been to over 40 bases. We were recently in Germany together at Ramstein and at Vilseck, and I simply go to say thank you. I don't tell them who I am or what I do. I don't want anybody to think I'm there to sell whiskey. I don't care if they know I sell whiskey or not. I am there to say thank you. Because what I understand is what I believe a lot of America is missing right now, but nobody in this room is missing. Not only are we an experiment, but 70 years ago, this experiment became the superpower. How does a country so young become a superpower? And I'm always interested when people tell me it's because of our economy. Do y'all realize that we owe over $1 trillion to our two largest adversaries, the ones that we don't want to claim are adversaries, so we allow them to float a balloon through our airspace because we want to pretend we're friends? We owe them $1 trillion. You want to know why they don't collect the debt? Because we have the strongest military in the world. That is why we are the superpower. We must pass on to this generation and every future generation. If America is to remain a superpower, it will not be our technology, it will not be our money, it will not be our advancements, it will be the strength of our military. So to everyone in here that have sacrificed your lives, who wrote and signed a dotted line that said that you would give up your life for this country, thank you. I honor you. I am grateful to you. And God has blessed America. Thank you.